Now, divorce lawyer reveals why marriages fail. So,
I got a question.
why do relationships fail? It's a very, very simple question. So, ladies, take it away. Why do relationships fail?
Poor communication, poor standards. There's way more answers, but those are my top two.
I will say a lack of understanding on what marriage is.
Oof.
Yes.
So, what is marriage?
It's a union between a husband and a wife with God in the center of it all. And it's something that's meant to be together forever, no matter what the circumstances, unless it's cheating, of course.
Yes, it's supposed to represent the relationship Jesus has with the church.
Yes.
Now that sounds lovely,
That's
but I don't
right.
think that's what the divorce lawyer is going to say
At all, at
So
all. No,
let's
probably
listen to what
But
he
it
has.
stems from that.
Let's see. Let's listen to what he
Yes.
has to say.
Fail.
I think they fail because people stop paying attention and people stop being grateful. You know, I think the best way to look at why things end is to look at how they started. And when a relationship starts, there's this tremendous period of like paying attention to each other and trying to impress each other with how much you're paying attention and how much you care about each other and how much you're noticing the other person. And there's also a tremendous sense of like overlooking the flaws of someone, right? Or even finding them charming, you know, when somebody has like a snort to their laugh, you know, it's like, oh, she's so cute. She has a little snort to her laugh. Whereas, you know, you're together for a bunch of years and it's like, what is the snort? What was that? You know, so you start to really, and I don't understand really why we do that in romantic relationships, because we don't do it in other kinds of relationships.
Hold up.
That is so true. I've always wondered that.
Yeah, it's
I've always wondered that.
very interesting, right? How in romantic relationships, it's almost like there's different rules that we don't apply to other relationships, like friendships and even sometimes like acquaintances. Like we'll treat them better than we
Treat our
the
spouse.
people that are supposed to be the close or the person that's supposed to be the closest to us.
I do wonder if that is because a lot of relationships nowadays, they don't start off as friends. So they don't have that foundation of friendship to fall back on at the end of the day, because really that respect factor starts when you can see each other as a friend,
Right.
and then, you know,
Well,
move beyond that.
Yeah, they're not trying to build as friends
Build,
either.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's like even with or even if you date somebody and you're like, oh, they're cute and I would like to get to know them further. The first part of that is I would like to get to know them, right?
Yes.
Before it escalates into okay, boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever that it blossoms into. The problem is now that most people are like, hey, you want to screw basically.
Yep.
Do you want to play?
Yeah, you want to.
Insider.
you want to play. That's foul. That is crazy. You just want to play around.
Right.
It's like it's recess, like you're in fifth grade. That's crazy, man. But yeah, that's one of the biggest issues. Is like, no, we just want to, get off, and that's
Yes.
only. It's a very selfish way to go about life too, because it's like
Yeah.
you're not doing anything. You're not really there for that person. You're just kind of
Yeah.
using that person for your own gratification.
And I think that adds to the lack of respect you have for that person too, and why it's so easy to treat them that way after a while. Because it's like, well, you're only here for my, jump off, even though you're not consciously thinking
Right.
that. But it's kind of like when you start off that way, it's kind of seeped into your foundation, and then you act off of that after a while.
Yeah, but it's interesting. The way you treat other people, namely the person that's closest to you, is a reflection of the way you treat yourself.
Yes.
And so if you are treating other people as, tools, essentially, just something to use, it's like that's the same way that you treat yourself. And you see that a lot with, unfortunately, a lot of young ladies who are, doing things in the name of liberation and just sleeping around. And then they're treating themselves the same exact way by the way they dress and the way they present themselves to the world. And even probably the self-talk that they have. Like, I'm not in anybody's head, but,
What comes out is reflected.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. And the way you treat yourself is a direct reflection of the relationship that you have with God. And if you're actually serving God and living to be of good moral character and striving to be more, like Christ, more like
Yes.
a example that is higher than yourself, even if you're not quote unquote serving, Christ. But that's a problem. A lot of people are like, take the satanic approach or the Satanist approach where they're like, no, I am the world and everything is created out for me. The life I have is going to be created for me. And it's like, no, you can't just go around. I mean, well, you can, but you see the result is, just filth and degeneracy.
And you'll be lonely at the end of your life.
Right.
You just
Yeah.
will.
And so, yeah, I mean, that gets us into our quality sip. It's like relationships fail because we lack servant hearts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like, again, we're only there for ours, self gratification, and we're not truly there to understand and to really get to know a person and to share this beautiful experience of life with them. It's only like, hey, I'm just going to pretend to be interested. I'm going to do this so I can get this.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's not even reciprocity. Right. It's more like you're a parasite at the end of the day. Right. Because you're just kind of, given a little bit of rope so you can take,
Yep.
twice as much, So very, very, very sad. Let's hear what James Sexton has more, or what more he has to say.
When you've had your kid for 5 years, you don't go like, oh, this freaking kid, like I gotta get a new one, or you don't have like a dog.
some people do.
Like, anybody who's a dog,
True.
like if you have your dog for 10 years, you're not like, oh, I've had this dog, I gotta get a puppy, man. They're so much cuter and fuzzier. Like you go, oh my God, it's my dog. Like I've had it for 10 years. I love that dog. Relationships were very quick to just stop being grateful for the value the person brings to our life. We're very quick to stop noticing that they're even there and that they're what they're there for. And then we stop being kind to each other. We stop being attentive to each other. And I think relationships are all about little things. I think it's...
Now, before he gets into that, big thing that he said was that we basically forget to appreciate the people while they're there, and then thus they become almost invisible to us. Like their
Yes.
contributions to our lives, what they do in our lives becomes invisible to us, which is why it's important to always express your gratitude for, what people do for you. Like, I mean, my mom, makes me food or whatever, and she's made me food a million times in my life. I always tell her thank you, because it's like, in all honesty, you never know if that's going to be the last meal that you eat from
Exactly.
her. But also, it's just to express that, man, like, there's so many people whose moms wouldn't cook for them,
But they
and
don't know how to cook.
or even know how to cook,
Yeah.
right? And I'm grateful to be living in the same city where I have this relationship with my mom that's good enough to where, Kenny and I could go over there for dinner, or if I'm not doing anything for lunch and she's, working from home that day, she'd be like, oh, yeah, stop by. Oh, I'll make you, a sandwich or something. It's like, man, that's great. Not a lot of people have that. So you should be grateful for the contributions that people make into your life, and you should always express that gratitude whenever you get a chance, because you never know when it's going to be gone, when it's going
Yeah.
to be taken from you, which is even sadder. And so you don't necessarily miss some things until it's gone, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
about little courtesies and little compliments and little ways of, like, if you talk to most people about their love life, they will remember giant things, like when we went on this vacation or when we had this candlelit dinner on the beach, these dramatic gestures, because those are super interesting stories. But really, love is like little day-to-day things. It's just like finance. Finance is not, is there the person that bought this crypto at this price and then suddenly they're a billionaire? Sure. But that's the exception, not the rule. Most of the time, it's just a grind and a grind and a grind.
Right.
And the first million's the hardest. And then once you got that, if you're smart about it and disciplined as an investor, you're going to be fine. You do really well. But it's...
Yeah, so basically that's all I wanted to show was it's about the small things, right? So something Kenya often says is like, oh, I like doing the little small mundane things with you. And I'm like, yeah,
Why is that my voice?
Oh my God.
that's literally
Is that
what.
her voice?
Why is that my
Is
voice? Why is that my voice? See, that's what you just said.
I don't think so, because even Miracle is like, is that her voice?
I don't think
like, are
so
you
because
trying to
even Miracle was like, "Is that your voice?"
Okay, that was kind of good.
I mean,
Okay, I'll give you the
Oh my
last
God.
one.
Last one, yeah, exactly. That was funny. But no, that's true. I mean, like I remember like when Alan asked me to be his girlfriend, he had like a little like card that he gave me, and it was like handwritten and kind of ugly, but it's so cute. But it's so cute. But it's so cute. Oh my God! Shots fired! I love it. He knows I love it. But it's like you can tell he put in all this work into it to ask me to be his girlfriend, and I just love it.
Jesus,
And I have it in my little box of mementos, like it's like ugly cute.
Yeah,
like
I got
you know, like.
man.
Like when a little
Ugly
kid makes
cute.
something for you.
Exactly.
Alan, you better light her up for this.
He'll get me back
that
for
is
something.
Tough. Okay.
He'll get
No,
me
but
back.
no, I do understand it. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I carry around all the little notes that Kenya has in my little notebook that I have, a letter bound, and it's all in this little. What?
I didn't know you
This is-
keep my notes.
That's so cute.
Why wouldn't I? And then there's one that's all permanently right there, So I always see it when I'm working or whatever. So yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
always
cry.
see
Yeah.
her.
I
So,
keep all your notes too. They're all on my mirror.
yeah,
See,
she
guys,
like
there's
has like a
little
posted
things.
thing of and so that's what like sustains relationships when you're constantly reminded, and maybe you're having a bad day, or maybe
Yes.
you've been feeling a little distant from your partner, and then you see, oh no, this is how they really feel about me, rather than saying like, oh, do they even care,
Or-
something of that nature.
Or if they do something that makes you mad, and you look at it and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not
Right.
that big of a deal.
Right, exactly.
Like, I'm gonna pick my battles.
Right.
It's not that serious.
I mean, yeah. And so it's all about the small things. And like our quality sip says, relationships fail because we lack a servant heart.
Yeah.
And when you're really there, being attentive and attuned with that person, well, then it's the little things like, the notes or the card, and, doing the mundane things in life that really matter. And I think the divorce lawyer,
Yeah,
he's seen his
agree.
fair share of failed marriages and relationships, and even went through a divorce himself, and so that is why he's able to give us some wise counsel. And so we will be back with some more counsel, more wise counsel, more quality counsel right after this break, so stay tuned on the Quality Entertainment Network.
Like what